Chapter 25, Chapter 149, Father. JJ's POV. I don't know why, but I woke up feeling extra cheerful today. I could even sing. And quote. Good morning to you, Tilda, and quote. I sang while taking a shower. Wait, what the heck? Why am I acting like a baby? That's so cringy. Ugh. When I stepped out of the bathroom, I saw CN sitting seriously, focused on his phone. Since he had taken a shower before me, he was already dressed. Now it was my turn to get ready. And quote. Let's have lunch, and quote, he said, catching me off guard. And quote, huh? WY, and quote. And quote. It's dangerous, and quote. Was all he replied before going back to his phone. Weird. I picked up my phone, expecting to see some messages, but there was nothing. Not a single text from the serpents. No message from Yuri. Not even from the king. What's going on? I used to get a good morning text at least. But now? Nothing. I sighed, put my phone down, and started getting dressed. And quote. What time do we have to be there? And quote. I asked C. He didn't respond, so I was about to walk over to him when someone suddenly knocked on the door. One of the maids of Aunt entered the room. And quote. Miss J, there. Calling for you. Someone wants to talk to you, and quote, she said. CN and I exchanged glances. He was still holding his phone. And quote. Who is it? And quote. I asked. And quote. They didn't say. Sir Angelo just told me to call you, and quote. I nodded, still confused. Despite our surprise, C and I grabbed our bags and headed out. We went straight to the living room, expecting to find whoever was looking for us, but the room was empty. Where are they? Aries was already there, looking at us like he was searching for someone. And quote. Where's Mom? And quote. He asked me. I shook my head. And quote. I'm looking for them too. And quote. Aries immediately walked to the kitchen, but he came back just as quickly. Looks like they weren't there either. And quote. Jay, I think someone's waiting for you outside, and quote, C said, pointing at the gate. Aries was the first to step out, and we followed. C was right. Outside, we saw Brother Angelo and Aunt Gemma. There were several black cars parked in front of the house, surrounded by men in black suits, wearing shades, with earpieces attached. NBI. And quote. Aunt. And quote. I called out to Aunt Gemma. She looked at me and immediately stepped behind Brother Angelo, as if trying to hide. What's going on? Even Aries looked shocked. And quote. Are you Ms. Jasper Jean Mariano, CN Peralta, and Michael Aries Fernandez? And quote. One of the men asked, holding a piece of paper. CN and I exchanged glances. He subtly signaled no to me. I got the message. We didn't know these people. We shouldn't trust them. But then. And quote. Yes, that's us. Why? And quote. Aries suddenly blurted out. What the hell? Aries really doesn't think sometimes. I swear. His brain must have melted from being in love with Ella. And quote. The Watson family is summoning you, and quote, the man stated. At that moment, a man stepped forward and opened the door of one of the black cars. Aries' eyes widened when he saw Ella sitting inside. And quote. Aries, and quote. Ella called out, fear evident in her voice. She tried to step out, but a man blocked her path. My eyes darted to another car as the window slowly rolled down, revealing a figure inside. Here's your text with corrected grammar, improved clarity, and smoother flow while preserving the original tone and emotions. Eamon, Denzel, and Felix. The other car also had a passenger, and I had a strong hunch that another Ulupong was inside. And what does the Watson family want with them? And Brother Angelo asked. Watson family? They're Keifer's family. But why? And we are strictly instructed not to disclose any information. And the man in black replied. And how can we be sure you won't harm them? And Aunt asked boldly. And the Watsons are well-known figures. Any bad publicity attached to their name is unacceptable. And why do I feel like Keifer is someone really powerful? Aunt glanced at me. Even before Brother could speak, Aries stepped forward, moving closer to the car and immediately standing beside Ella. And we'll be okay, Auntie. And I reassured her with a smile. The men allowed Brother and me to approach the car. CN and I got in as well. I couldn't shake off the fear creeping inside me, along with the growing number of questions about Keifer. Aries and I were in the same car, while the other car followed behind. We remained silent. Past was still familiar at first, but soon, it felt like we were heading somewhere far away. I had a feeling we were outside the city. And where are we going? And Ella asked. Finally. Something we both agreed on. And to Keifer's real house. And Aries answered seriously. Real house. Wait. Does that mean the one he's been staying in is fake? What is this? A brand of clothing with real and fake versions? How does Aries even know this? Oh, right. They used to be close. Maybe he's been there before? I had no idea how long we had been traveling. Every now and then, I exchanged texts with the others in the car behind us. My guess was right. They were in the next vehicle. And we've been on the road for 2 hours. And CN muttered, checking his watch. 2 hours. How much ground are we covering? I really need to pee. As if answering my silent prayer, the car gradually slowed down. We turned a corner where the roadside was lined with trees, their leaves scattered all over. And we're here. And Aries whispered. Where is? Even bigger in person. And he exclaimed in awe. Bigger in person. Curious, I looked outside as well. A massive house loomed ahead. Even from a distance, I could tell how enormous it was. It had been hidden behind a hill, which was why I hadn't noticed it earlier. But as we turned the corner, more of it came into view. And I saw this in a picture before. Keifer's mansion is insanely beautiful. And CN added, excitement clear in his voice. I wanted to be amazed, too. But honestly, I felt small. Keifer is ridiculously rich. The house was surrounded by vast land and thick trees. I couldn't even see where the property ended. The closer we got, the more massive the house appeared. But then, our view was suddenly blocked by a tunnel. I lost sight of the mansion. Then the car stopped in front of a huge gate. Damn! The gate was so high it didn't even seem like a house. More like a fortress, a haunted one, even. No. This looks like a villain's lair. As the gate opened, the car moved forward again. Tall trees and dense plants lined both sides of the road, almost as if hiding something. And then, as we got further in, what was hidden finally came into view. A palace. The house was ridiculously big. It looked like it had 3 floors, but it stretched out so far It had way too many sections. All it needed was a dragon and a tower, and it could literally pass as a palace. When the car finally stopped, no one moved. We all kept exchanging glances. And "Quat, we're here." And "Quat," the driver announced. Still, no one made a move, until we saw Calix and the others walking toward a man standing near the parked cars. We had no choice but to get out and follow them. Once we gathered together, we all started whispering amongst ourselves. And "Quat, what's happening?" And "Quat," I asked. And "Quat, I don't know." "Have you seen Keifer?" And "Quat," Edrix asked. I shook my head and glanced around. Wow, the place was huge. And from where we stood, I could even see the sea. Damn, he's insanely rich. We stood there for a few moments, then, bam, the massive doors of the mansion suddenly opened. It's official, no normal human lives here. Even the doors are oversized. And then, a handsome man stepped out. Wait, is he an actor? He looked like he was in his early 40s or younger. And his resemblance too. And "Quat, Dad? That's Keifer's father." And "Quat," Cyan muttered. I turned back and forth between him and the man standing before us. No way, it's not that I'm saying Keifer is ugly, because he is. You know the type. There's just something about him. That one thing. Ugh, whatever. But his father, now, that's a different story. He looks so young and handsome to be a father. I have a crush on him. Keifer's daddy approached us. Still smiling. I have to admit, his presence is commanding. And "Quat, good morning." And "Quat," he greeted us warmly. And "Quat, are we all complete?" And "Quat." I glanced at my companions. Speaking of complete, where are Yuri and Keifer? Just then, a man in a black suit approached him and whispered something. They talked for a moment. And "Quat, what exactly are we doing here?" And "Quat," I asked. CN. And "Quat, I don't really know. But Keifer texted me earlier. He told me not to let you out yet. And this is why." And "Quat," he explained. "So that's why he suggested we have lunch first." And "Quat, Mr. Watson." And "Quat," Ares called out. We all turned to him. "Are they close?" And "Quat, can you tell us what you need from us?" And "Quat, yes, finally, someone actually asked. This horoscope nerd is finally useful." Keifer's dad chuckled. And "Quat, you haven't changed. You're still impatient." And "Quat," he glanced at all of us before adding, "And Quat, I just wanted to have a lunch date with my son's friends." And "Quat." My heart skipped a beat. Because when he said lunch date, he was looking at me. Is he asking me out on a date? Before anyone could respond, a loud roaring sound echoed through the air. It was like a racing car. And "Quat, he's here." And "Quat," Keifer's dad said, suddenly stepping into the middle of the driveway. And "Quat, he's here." And "Quat," Keifer's dad said, suddenly stepping into the middle of the driveway. As in the middle, where the car can pass. The car is coming, not just one but 2 cars, and familiar to me. One is Yuri's car, but the other is Keifer. It's like they're racing with how fast they run. Yuri's car turned to look for a parking space, but Keifer's car continued and, will he run over his father?